At a loss for words I am now, except just to say, Nick, your final thoughts on this remarkable run.
Blew it.
That once said his greatest memory, perhaps in golf, was hugging you at Muirfield Village in 1987.
I knew you'd do that.
What a moment. What a moment. And I know how much it means to you.
Nick Faldo just said something about Rory McIlroy that shocked the golf world. He put Rory in his top 5 golfers of all time. And that's a big deal because Faldo doesn't hand out respect like candy. This is a guy who rebuilt his entire swing just to eliminate the hook. A guy who spent his whole career obsessing over mechanics and winning 6 majors by playing boring, perfect golf. So when Nick Faldo respects you, it means something. But here's the thing. Only 5 golfers in history have earned that respect. 5. And the list tells you everything about what it takes to be truly great. Let me tell you what Faldo looks for. It's not about being popular. It's not about exciting shots. Faldo is an engineer. He cares about 3 things. First, ball striking. Can you control the golf ball under pressure? Can you eliminate one side of the course? Can you repeat your swing when your hands are shaking? Second, majors. Not wins, not money. Majors. Especially the career Grand Slam. Winning all 4 different majors is the ultimate test. It proves you can handle Augusta's perfect greens, the US Open's thick rough, the wind and rain at the British Open, and the deep fields at the PGA. Third, the bottle. That's British slang for nerve, mental toughness. Can you close when it matters? Can you make the putt on Sunday when the whole world is watching? So who are the 5? Let's start at the top. Jack Nicklaus, the Golden Bear, 18 major championships. But here's what Faldo really respects. Nicklaus finished second in majors 19 times. That means he was in contention on the back 9 of a major championship 37 times. Think about that. The mental stamina to perform at that level for almost 3 decades is unreal. Faldo knows what it takes to win one major. You have to enter the zone, a trance-like state where nothing exists except the next shot. To do that 37 times is superhuman. Those 19 runner-up finishes tell a story that statistics alone cannot capture. Each one represents a Sunday where Nicklaus had a realistic chance to win. Each one required him to manage his emotions, execute under crushing pressure, and deal with the aftermath. Some of those losses came to legendary players making historic shots. Some came down to a single putt. But Nicklaus never let those defeats define him. He came back stronger. He learned from every loss. That ability to absorb disappointment and channel it into future success is what Faldo admires most. It's not just about winning. It's about the courage to keep putting yourself in position to win even after experiencing heartbreak. But it's not just the numbers. Faldo respects how Nicklaus handled himself. He said Nicklaus instilled the pure value of sportsmanship by being humble in defeat and humble in victory. Very few people have that. Faldo learned it from watching Jack. Nicklaus took those 19 second-place finishes without bitterness. He conceded putts. He shook hands. He was a gentleman. And for someone like Faldo, who was called cold and robotic by the British press, that kind of grace under pressure meant everything. From a technical standpoint, Faldo loved Nicklaus's power fade. Nicklaus played almost every shot with a fade. The ball starts left and curves gently right. That eliminates the hook, which is the shot that kills you under pressure. Faldo rebuilt his own swing to play a fade for the same reason. He saw a kindred spirit in Nicklaus, the upright swing plane, the tremendous leg drive, the ability to hit high, soft iron shots that hold Augusta's greens. 6 green jackets don't lie. Nicklaus mastered Augusta better than anyone. He won the Masters in 1963 with Balata balls and persimmon woods. He won again in 1986 at the dawn of the modern power game. That adaptability is peerless. Nicklaus is the standard. Everyone else is measured against him. Now, let's talk about Ben Hogan, the Hawk. 9 major championships. But Faldo doesn't respect Hogan for the wins. He respects him for the process. Hogan is the blueprint for perfection. Faldo is considered the spiritual successor to Hogan because of his obsessive dedication to practice. When Faldo decided to rebuild his swing in the mid-80s, everyone thought he was crazy. The press ridiculed him. But Faldo looked to Hogan. He studied films of Hogan's swing for hours, and he made it work. 6 majors later, he was vindicated. The story everyone knows is the pilgrimage to Fort Worth. Faldo wanted to win the US Open. It was the one major he never won. He lost in a playoff in 1988, and it haunted him. So he traveled to the Hogan Company factory in Fort Worth, Texas. He spent almost an entire day there, hoping to meet Ben Hogan. Finally, he got his chance. He asked Hogan, "What do I need to do to win the US Open?" And Hogan looked at him and said, "Shoot the lowest score. That's it. Shoot the lowest score. Faldo was dumbfounded. He expected some technical tip, but over the years, he came to understand the genius in that answer. Hogan was telling him there are no secrets, just execution. The only thing that matters is the number on the card. That deepened Faldo's respect. Hogan wasn't a magician. He was a pragmatist who understood that golf is about superior performance. Subscribe now and drop a comment. Who do you think is Faldo's real number one, Tiger or Jack? Technically, Faldo studied Hogan like a scientist. He analyzed the weak grip, the cupped left wrist at the top, the knee action that promoted a fade. Hogan discovered the secret to eliminating the hook through grip, wrist position, and body movement. Faldo used the same principles. He weakened his grip. He relied on body rotation to square the club. He aimed at trouble and faded it back to safety. The Hogan fade isn't a loss of distance. It's a gain in control. That philosophy defined Faldo's major championship wins. Faldo calls Hogan the greatest ball striker of all time. Even though he only won 9 majors, his command over the golf ball was absolute. And here's what Faldo really respects. Hogan wasn't naturally gifted. He was smaller. He struggled early. He built the best swing in history through sheer force of will and thousands of hours on the practice range. That's the triumph of will over nature. That's exactly how Faldo sees himself. A player who manufactured a champion's game. But Hogan's story goes much deeper than practice. He overcame poverty. He battled a hook that nearly ended his career. Then came the car accident in 1949 that almost killed him. Doctors said he might never walk again. But Hogan not only walked, he came back to win 6 of his 9 majors after the accident. That level of determination, that refusal to accept limitations, resonates deeply with Faldo. Hogan proved that the mind can overcome physical limitations through discipline and systematic practice. Tiger Woods is the modern Titan. 15 majors, the Tiger Slam, holding all 4 major titles at once. Faldo witnessed the beginning firsthand. He was paired with Tiger in the first round of the 1997 Masters. Faldo was the defending champion. He shot a decent score, but he watched Tiger recover from a front 940 to shoot a back 930. That laid the groundwork for Tiger's historic 12-shot victory. That day was the changing of the guard. But here's the complicated part. Faldo has been one of Tiger's toughest critics. As a broadcaster, Faldo questioned Tiger's decision to change his swing multiple times. Faldo rebuilt his swing once, for a specific purpose, to win majors. He couldn't understand why Tiger would dismantle a winning formula, but the criticism came from respect. Faldo held Tiger to a standard of perfection. When Tiger struggled, Faldo highlighted it, not out of malice, out of belief that a player of Tiger's caliber should not be missing shots. When Tiger proved him wrong, Faldo admitted it. After Tiger's spinal fusion surgery, Faldo said he was firmly on the Tiger train. He called it unbelievable that Tiger could generate clubhead speed in his 40s with a fused spine. The 2019 Masters was the ultimate validation. Faldo was in the booth when it happened. He had heard Tiger say, "I'm done," at the Champions Dinner in 2017. Tiger needed a nerve blocker just to sit. To see him win again was a resurrection. Faldo said, "To have it all come together at the right time, this is what we dream about." What Faldo respects most about Tiger is the bottle. He's never questioned Tiger's mental toughness. Faldo famously said, "We can play beautifully and swing beautifully, but it is the guy who really has the bottle to hang on or make it happen." In Tiger, Faldo sees the ultimate nerve, the ability to execute under extreme pressure. That shared trait connects Faldo's era to Tiger's era. Tiger could win without his A-game. He could grind out victories with mental toughness, just like Faldo did throughout his career. Gary Player is the pound-for-pound king, the Black Knight, 9 majors, a career Grand Slam. Faldo includes Player because winning all 4 majors is incredibly difficult. Faldo won 3 Masters and 3 Opens, but he never won the US Open or PGA. He understands how hard it is to win on different continents and grass types. And here's the kicker. Faldo called Gary Player, pound for pound, the best golfer ever. Think about that. Player was 5'6". He gave up significant yardage to guys like Nicklaus and Palmer, but he still won 9 majors and completed the Grand Slam. Faldo respects that Player earned his achievements the hard way. Player was the fitness pioneer. While everyone else was drinking and smoking, Player was doing squats and eating nuts and raisins. Faldo was one of the first golfers to embrace serious fitness in the late 80s, but Player blazed that trail decades earlier. Player's mantra was, "The harder I practice, the luckier I get. Faldo adopted that philosophy. He saw in Player a shared, relentless drive, a refusal to be outworked. Player also hustled globally. He traveled millions of miles to compete. Faldo did the same. He knows the toll of travel. He recognizes Player's role in making golf truly international. Winning all 4 majors requires mastery of different conditions. Links golf at the Open, precision at the US Open, course management at the Masters, scoring at the PGA. That versatility is the hallmark of a true champion. Now we get to Rory McIlroy, the 5th spot, the most recent addition. After the 2025 Masters, Faldo elevated Rory. He said, of the all-time greats, I'd put him 5th. Ben Hogan, Gary Player, Jack, and Tiger. Rory is right there. That's a massive statement. And the reason is simple. Rory completed the career Grand Slam. He finally won the green jacket at Augusta in 2025. That ended a drought that lasted over a decade. The career Grand Slam is the key that unlocks Faldo's respect. By winning the Masters, Rory joined Gene Sarazen, Ben Hogan, Gary Player, Jack Nicklaus, and Tiger Woods. Faldo said, achieving the Grand Slam puts you in a different category. He justified the ranking by comparing Rory's resume to his own. He said, he's done way more than me. He's won 29 times in America. That admission is huge. Faldo recognizes that Rory's volume of victories against deeper fields warrants a place at the high table. But Faldo's respect for Rory comes with a warning. He compared winning the Grand Slam to climbing Everest. He said, the emotional release of that final victory might make it harder to win a 6th major. Faldo stated, he's either going to be disappointed that he's won 10, or he is going to be ecstatic that he's got to 5. That reveals everything. Faldo respects Rory's talent enough to believe he could have won 10 majors, but he questions whether Rory has the grinding mental toughness to push through the scar tissue and reach double digits. Faldo views Rory as a confidence player, someone who relies on emotion and flow. Faldo relied on mechanics and stoicism. He thinks the emotional toll of winning the 2025 Masters was so great that it cannot be reproduced. This Everest analogy is Faldo's way of saying, I respect what you have done, but do not underestimate the cost of doing it again. Faldo admits Rory is right there with the legends. He acknowledges Rory's A-game is as high as anyone's, but he's critiqued Rory's strategy. He thinks Rory can be too aggressive or lose focus. This is classic Faldo, acknowledging talent while critiquing the application. But when Rory won the Masters, Faldo admitted to getting teary. That shows a deep connection to the struggle of closing out a legacy. So who's missing? 2 names stand out. Seve Ballesteros and Phil Mickelson. Faldo had a close relationship with Seve. He described him as a genius, but he doesn't put him in the top 5. Seve's game was built on recovery and magic, car park saves and miraculous escapes, not the repeatable mechanical perfection Faldo worships. Seve relied on feel and creativity rather than systematic control. His career also flamed out early due to back issues and driving accuracy problems. Faldo values longevity and swing preservation. Phil Mickelson has 6 majors. That's an incredible career, but Faldo hasn't elevated him to the top 5. This is because of Phil's high-risk style. Phil gambles on the course. He takes on shots other players wouldn't attempt. That aggressive approach is antithetical to Faldo's conservative philosophy. Faldo learned from Nicklaus to play the percentages, to aim away from trouble, to take your par and move on. Faldo views gambling as a flaw, not a virtue. He wants players who eliminate one side of the course, players who control the ball. Phil's aggressive style doesn't fit that mold. The common thread among all 5 is the career Grand Slam. Every single one has won all 4 majors. That's the ultimate test. It proves you can handle the precision at the Masters, the narrow fairways and thick rough at the US Open, the wind and rain at the Open Championship, and the deep fields at the PGA. For Faldo, you cannot be top 5 without proving mastery over all 4 conditions. Faldo's respect is fundamentally technical. All 5 golfers eliminated one side of the course. Hogan invented the anti-left swing, using the weak grip and cupped wrist. Nicklaus played a power fade exclusively. Tiger moved to a fade later to protect his lead. Player controlled the ball with a trapped fade. Even Rory learned to eliminate the destructive big miss. Faldo respects players who own their swing patterns. He also admires the engine, the body rotation that drives the club through the ball. He loves Hogan's knee action, the way the lower body initiated the downswing. He praises Tiger's incredible glute activation and core strength. He reveres Nicklaus's tremendous leg drive that generated raw power. He respects players' compact but powerful core strength. The engine generates consistent power without injury or breakdown. And then there's tempo. Faldo said, tempo is the glue that sticks all elements of the golf swing together. He views Nicklaus and Tiger in his prime as having perfect tempo. Their swings had beautiful rhythm and timing. He often critiques Rory when his tempo gets too fast and rushed. But when Rory wins, It's because his tempo perfectly matches his natural rhythm. That synchronization is everything. Nick Faldo's top 5 is more than a ranking. It's a manifesto of his golfing philosophy. By elevating Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods, Ben Hogan, Gary Player, and Rory McIlroy, he's reaffirming the values that guided his Hall of Fame career. The primacy of majors. Regular tour wins are statistics. Majors are legacy. The necessity of suffering. All 5 men suffered for their art. Hogan recovered from a near-fatal bus crash. Tiger recovered from a broken leg and fused back. Player traveled the world and fought against his small stature. Nicklaus endured 19 heartbreaking second-place finishes. Rory endured a decade-long drought. Faldo, who endured the Nick Faldo taunts before rebuilding his swing, respects resilience above all. And finally, the relentless pursuit of absolute perfection. None of these 5 were satisfied with good enough. They all sought to dominate completely. Faldo, the ultimate perfectionist who rebuilt his swing to chase perfection, sees his own reflection in their eyes. These 5 men represent the complete golfer, a machine built of muscle and bone, fueled by intellect and strategic thinking, steeled by an unyielding will to win. They climbed the mountain Faldo climbed, and in some cases, gone even higher. Which golfer truly best represents Faldo's ideals today? Drop a comment below. And if you want more deep breakdowns like this, hit subscribe, because this is what separates legends from everyone else. This is what it takes to earn the respect of Nick Faldo.